At this time, we're back. Eric DeSobe here, joined by my good friend Aaron. Aaron, who's all about AI and is international right now. What time is it in Spain, Aaron, where you are?
It is 5:34 p.m.
All right, well, tell us about the future as it relates to AI, not so much about the future because it's 5 p.m. where you are and 8 a.m. where I am. You think a lot about AI all the time. Give folks a little bit of a scoop about where you're working and what you do most of the hours of the working day.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me, Eric. I am with AI for Equity, which is a nonprofit that exists to ensure AI reduces rather than exacerbates the equity gap. And we think the key levers to that mission are school system leaders. And so we build the capacity of school system leaders to be good decision makers on all things AI, from adult work streams and including the talent world, to student-facing tools, to the massive implications for the future of curriculum and instruction. So
And
I
then,
get the, I get the pleasure of working with a lot of really awesome school system leaders all over the country.
yeah, well, we like working with you because you have a job where you just get to dig into all the new AI news and that comes fast and furious. And as we're chatting, ChatGPT 5 just launched. What kind of things have you seen so far as you started to dig in?
Yeah, I've enjoyed using ChatGPT 5 thus far. I think
Hmm.
in general, what we've seen from our own usage and the reviews is that there might be a little bit of folks might feel. I think underwhelmed is not maybe not the right term, because it's hard to be underwhelmed when you're using a powerful AI model these days. But I think our expectations have been so inflated over the past few years that folks were expecting a huge scale jump in the capability. And it seems like ChatGPT 5 is giving us some improvement in capability in some places, especially coding, but that a lot more of the differences are coming just from the user experience, including the shift to not having users have to select the type
Mhm.
of model that they're using. So I think a lot of folks will enjoy that. Having the AI kind of infer what level of reasoning is needed in the model. And then there will be those folks who want more control over that, and might not like the AI making that decision for them. So,
Yeah. And then, what I appreciate about your perspective is you're not in the talent world like I am, right? You're not in the trenches with recruitments and candidates, but you're thinking about a lot of AI things from many different angles. What's your perception of how AI is evolving and changing the reality of trying to get a job or the reality of someone like me who's trying to screen you if you should get a job? What do you see since you're not kind of in the weeds, tunnel vision like I am on this topic?
yeah, I saw something the other day online that I thought was really interesting. So somebody had a post online to the effect of there are two suboptimal levels of AI. There is zero AI, which is slow, and then there's 100% AI, which is slop. And I think another way we could think about slop is just 100% AI is probably not reliable in
Mhm.
the way that we would need it to be. And so I think it's probably a bit of an oversimplification. There's lots of times, especially in our school-based work, where we can think of a good case for zero AI. But I'm intrigued by that idea, and I think essentially what you can take away from that idea is that the right level of AI for many of our workflows right now is something in the middle, a little
Mhm.
bit AI and a little bit human. And I'm just, I think, really interested in how those proportions shift over time as the technology evolves. And for given workflows or given tasks, like what does KIPS SoCal determine the right balance of human versus AI to be?
Mhm.
What's the level of human engagement that's going to be necessary to ensure the right reliability across a diverse set of talent workflows? Um, One of the ideas that we've talked about for a while now is this idea of like managing for quality control
Mhm.
in the age of AI. And so, what does it look like if you know that there are folks on your talent team who are leveraging AI in various workflows? How does management have to evolve in order to have the right systems in place, the right management practice in place to ensure that things are getting done both more efficiently, but also with the right level of quality. Because I think one thing we've seen is that AI can allow folks to more efficiently produce lower quality deliverables. So, like, what's the engagement of the people have to look like? Not just at like a kind of frontline staff level, but also from a management level. What does people engagement look like to ensure the right quality control?
If you were forced to look for a job right now, how do you picture yourself using AI as a candidate if you were all of a sudden in the job market looking for a job?
Yeah, I think a really interesting use case of AI right now is AI as a sparring partner, like a thought
Hmm.
partner, but I think more specifically a sparring partner, a critical thought partner. And so, I can remember like years ago preparing for a job interview, and I had my Google Doc, and I typed out my notes for all the questions I thought I would be asked. I think if I was going through that same process today, I would put all of that into the AI and say, like, critique my responses, tell me what I'm missing, help me think about like what I can share about my experience authentically
Yeah.
that I might not have shared in my reflections initially. Um, Probably I used voice a lot. And
Hmm.
so I would probably use AI as that sort of thought partner or sparring partner in preparing, both in a text-based way, but also, in a just having a conversation with AI to help me, show up
Get ready.
authentically,
Yeah.
um, but show up as my best self authentically in the interview process.
Yeah. Hey, last thing, we're about to start the next school year. I know for Kip, the kiddos come on the 18th. What kind of things are you keeping a close eye on as the school year starts, or what kind of things do you think will sort of unfold in the AI ed space in the next school year?
Yeah. I think the tech's going to continue to evolve, and so the line between what like where there was limitation previously and what is possible, or what where there was a lack of reliability and where there's more reliability, that will continue to evolve. So I think we're just interested from like a technical standpoint on continuing to track that evolving line across all of the school-based workflows, and figure out where there are some new entry points for leveraging the technology. I think in innovative ways. Um, I know that the fall, from a talent standpoint, I know that late fall is a time when school systems are starting to think about what the org chart will look like for the following year, and what are the roles that we're hiring for, what do the job descriptions have to look like, and so I'm really interested in just how the sector continues to get clear about what are the AI related competencies
Yeah.
that we want to be hiring for. And I think that there's like the technical side of that. I can think, of some technical, like if I was hiring right now for school system roles, there's technical things I'd be looking for, like, is this a person that can pull data from multiple places into an AI workflow? Is this a person that can string together like a workflow using multiple AI tools? Like, I think I'd be looking beyond just kind of the basics of like, can this person write an interesting prompt in ChatGPT?
Hmm.
But beyond some of those technical skills, I think I'd be looking to see, does this person bring the creativity and the imagination, like the ingenuity, to be able to look at a series of work streams and say, oh, I have this idea about like how we can make this better, or like here's a thing that we are not even doing, like it's not in the job description, but like here's a powerful opportunity for us as an organization with this new technology. So I think there's that, and then the other thing that's on my mind that I think I'd be thinking about hiring for is just this idea of like agency.
Yeah.
Um, that AI agency, like, is this a person who can see a problem and has the like the agency or the initiative to say, I'm going to try to solve for this problem, proactively,
Hmm.
versus being like pushed to do so. I saw I saw something recently. I'm forgetting what company this is coming out of, but there was essentially like a directive from the company leadership to stop showing up to meetings with PowerPoints
Okay.
talking about what you are going to do, but rather like show up with the prototype, build it, because now you can build a prototype so quickly. Don't come to the meeting with a PowerPoint. Like come to the meeting with a prototype of what you've already built to address this issue. And so to me, that's just like indicative of the level, someone who proactively thinks to do that. That's the level of agency that I would be wanting to both cultivate in my existing staff and hire for. And I'd be thinking about that in the fall as I draft job descriptions.
Yeah,
Come on,
makes
work on.
sense. I was talking to a friend of mine who's was considering going into the job market, and we was asking for some advice on how to best, position himself on paper or in an application. And we ended up talking about, yeah, can you show AI use cases that you've done in your previous work, or even like outside of like your actual professional work? There's some really interesting stuff in your personal life that would catch people's eyes. But you think about a teacher who is trying to sell a school system that they're good at teaching. They might have teaching video or student work or portfolio. I wonder if we're going in that direction where it makes sense for you as a job seeker to have those things at the ready to show. And then, yeah, more and more from our side on the talent side, yeah, should we ask for agency proof? Can you talk us through or give us evidence of things you've done in past workplaces to prove you can use all the different platforms in a way that produces really really interesting stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that idea, and I would almost to go back to something we talked about
yeah,
earlier. I would also love to see someone who comes in and says, "Here's what the AI gave me, initially, and here's how I brought my own. Here's the content knowledge that I have as it relates to this role, and brought that to bear on iterating on this to make the output better. Versus taking like version 1.0 that the AI gave me, like I iterated and got to version 5.0 with like the baseline knowledge that I have, about my role.
yeah. It's well said. Well, Aaron, how can folks follow your work or find the work of the org?
Sure, they can find me on LinkedIn and follow AI for Equity on LinkedIn, and reach out if we can be of support to you.
Yeah, sounds great. Listen, thanks for coming on. Thanks everyone for listening. Catch all the past episodes, all the places you get your podcasts, and catch Aaron and I in Stunning 4K on YouTube. Until next time, we'll catch you soon.
Thank you.